back with another episode of Ness-XT, starring me, your boy True Hill Ness. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's well. Hope everyone's staying healthy, staying distant socially during this global pandemic with the world being in such a craze. At least we have wrestling to keep us somewhat sane, you know. But again, I hope everyone's doing well right now during these tough times, and hopefully everything will get better with time. But, you know, let's try to not focus on everything bad in the world right now. Let's focus on some wrestling, you know. So with that being said, this episode is going to be reviewing the April 8th and the April 15th episodes of NXT. So we're just going to get right into it, starting with the April 8th episode. The show kicked off with the 6-woman ladder match for the, I guess it's like the Money in the Bank version of NXT. For the women's NXT title, women's title, we had Io Shirai, Candice LeRae, Tegan Knox, Dakota Kai, Chelsea Green, and I'm sorry, I'm missing one person. Mia Yim. How could I forget Mia Yim? What the fuck? I'm sorry. So yes, we had those 6 ladies participating in the ladder match for whoever wins gets a shot at NXT Women's Champion Charlotte Flair in the future. So yeah, the match itself, it was alright. It wasn't there was some crazy ass spots in there that I'm going to point out. Two specific spots that I really like from this match. One point, Mia Yim and Tegan Knox hit a choke slam powerbomb combination on Raquel Gonzalez. Obviously, Dakota Kai's in the match, so she has Raquel Gonzalez, you know, pretty much. She was in the match pretty much just as much as Dakota Kai was. You know, there's no rules in a ladder match, so it was all legal. But at one point, Tegan Knox and Mia Yim take her out by putting her through the table, doing a choke slam / powerbomb combination, which is pretty dope. Actually, followed up right after that was another spot that I really enjoyed from Dakota Kai, where Tegan Knox was still on the apron from after the, you know, her attempt at a choke slam, and Dakota Kai comes over, runs up, and hits her with a pump kick and knocks her off the apron and through a ladder, you know. So that was pretty dope. Like, these ladies went out there, they went out and put on a brutal match, just like a men's ladder match, you know. They didn't hold back. There was no bounds, you know. They went out there and it was brutal. It was brutal. A lot of, like I said, the 2 spots that I just those 2 spots in general were some of the crazy moments from this match, you know. Again, the ladies didn't hold back. They went out there and they showed that, you know, not only the men can have these types of matches, but that the ladies can have these matches and deliver them as well. So, as the match comes to a close, we have Candice LeRae and Io Shirai. You know, again, I like storytelling. I like continuity. So having these 2 ladies be the ones pretty much ending the match or having the finish to the match happen, you know, they were close at one point in NXT. Io Shirai, you know, she has her heel turn and she turns on Candice, you know, and then they have their feud going on for months, and it's pretty much, it hasn't been like played upon, but obviously they're still not on the same page, obviously. With that being said, having these 2 close out this match, I really like that subtlety, because it showed that, you know, there's still something there between the 2, regardless if NXT plays up on it as much as the fan base wants it to or not. But as the match is coming to a close, both of these ladies on top of the ladder, they get into a strike battle. Eventually, Io Shirai hits a not a palm strike, but pretty much just mushes Candice LeRae off the top of the ladder. She falls back onto a ladder that's wedged in the corner, which was another brutal ass moment in this match. You know, it's fucking bad. Cancel Ray is tough as shit, but like, there's no way to prepare to fall on a fucking ladder. You know, off of a ladder onto another ladder. You know, but after that, Io Shirai, unhooks the briefcase, and she is now the winner of the 6-woman ladder match, and she will go on to face Charlotte Flair sometime down the line. They really didn't give us a specific time when this was going to happen, but congratulations to Io Shirai. Again, the match was very solid. Definitely one of the better matches on this show. Probably was the match of the night. No, honestly, it was a match of the night on this episode. I know we have one final beat, but once we get to that, we'll get to that when we get to it. So I said what I said. The 6-woman ladder match was the match of the night. So go out of your way, check it out if you haven't already. And again, congratulations to Io Shirai on becoming the #1 contender to the NXT Women's title. Again, I don't know if this is going to play out like a New Japan thing where they just have the briefcase, or if it's going to play out like a Money in the Bank type of thing where they can just run it and use it whenever. So we'll see as the story progresses. Moving on, it was a Finn Balor promo on Walter. He's going after the NXT UK Championship. Or, that's what it seems like at the moment, that he's going after Walter. He's fighting Imperium, he's fighting Walter, that whole chestnut. Moving on. Next on the card was a match between Malcolm Bivens' associates in Indu Sheer. I forgot their names specifically. I'm sorry, I apologize. But these are the two new big monster-looking guys of Biven Enterprises. They pretty much have a squash match against some niggas. Everrise, it was a squash match. The Everrise dudes, they got in a little bit of offense, but obviously Indu Sheer. I'm not a fan of the squash matches. I don't care if it's somebody I don't know, somebody I do know. I'm not a fan of squash matches, so this was a dud to me. It really wasn't nothing to see. Obviously, the bigger, stronger, more muscular, monster-looking guys weren't going to go out there and have an issue fighting the two, apologize for me using this term, the vanilla midgets. I hate it, but it suits them. I don't know Everrise, never heard of them before. People might know them, I don't give a shit. Match really didn't do nothing for me, didn't do nothing for Indu Sheer, because we know that, again, the big guys, monster-looking guys, not going to have a problem with these little guys. So, overall, it is what it is. It does something for their stock, obviously, for, them making a name in NXT, but me being a smark and me doing these reviews on the show, that don't do nothing for me. So, moving on. The next segment on the April 8th episode of NXT was Adam Cole promo. It was just Adam Cole kind of promo saying that, the Team Dream, he's cutting off the Team Dream, saying that, Dream's not worthy, blah, 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 that whole thing. And that the Undisputed Era will soon be full of gold once again. And we'll see how that plays out, but, I doubt it. So, that was all that was. Next, there was a recap of Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. We all know how that played out. So really wasn't much. Yeah, this episode of NXT really wasn't much that first hour, but now we're going to get into the main event. I've been going back and forth over this match for quite some time, guys, and I'm not going to completely shit on it. But we're going to get into this match. One final beat. Tommaso Ciampa versus Johnny Gargano. So, we're going to start off with the good of this match. This match had a lot of emotion. really like how that played out. It was a lot of storytelling, a lot of emotion in this match. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, they've obviously been tag teaming and just, being the best of friends for, I want to say, like the past 4 or 5 years. Both their journeys in NXT started together. And, and not even just in wrestling, Johnny Gargano, the best man at his wedding was Tommaso Ciampa. The guys lived together. So it's a lot there that makes for this storyline that's just like, yo, this is so real. Everybody says like the best adversaries in wrestling are best friends. The best matches come from people that know each other, that have a great relationship, great chemistry. And, up until this point, it's the truth. These guys have had some of the best matches, some of the best storyline going into, the one final beat. Even though at this point I think it was being overdone, there really was no reason for them to rekindle this flame for a third time. But again, this is being the one final beat, so hopefully this was the last heartbeat of this whole situation. Also, I like the cinematic style. That was something that has been done elsewhere in wrestling that WWE wanted to latch on to at the last minute. It is what it is. But for this type of match, even when it wasn't even a match, this type of fight, I think this made the match itself a lot better than having to watch, this hour-long match in a regular wrestling, setting. So those were the two things that I like. Oh, again, the emotional of everybody in the match. Those are the two things that stood out to me that I appreciated. So now we're going to get into the shit that this made me think like this is the dumbest shit ever. Number one, this match was a fucking hour or 50 plus minutes. 50 plus minutes of this shit. Now, again, far as the cinematic style, this made this more bearable to watch. But it was a 50 fucking minute match of just, two guys mainly. The ref was there. He really was just there. Two guys just, beating the shit out of each other. Just pretty much fighting for an hour. And, like, no offense to, any gay people or anything like that. But it's just 2 hours, like, it's just like an hour of two guys grunting and, panting hard and moaning the whole time. Like, it was kind of annoying. It wasn't even kind of annoying. It was annoying. Like, it was just stupid. That was one. Two, with an hour-long match, there's going to be a lot of fucking commercials. And obviously, as serious and as important as this match was, it got even more ruined by all these fucking commercials going on during the match. Like, come on, man. Like, I don't care about your dog food. I don't care about, taking a trip somewhere. We're in a fucking global pandemic. And then we're getting commercials about the fucking pandemic. Like, I'm watching wrestling trying to get away from this shit. Like, come on, bro. You're not doing yourselves any favors. Especially when every time that the match was getting exciting, they go to a fucking commercial. Which was dumb. Again, so stupid. Okay, so as the match is going on, I'm sorry. Beginning of the match, Candice LeRae drops Johnny Gargano off at the performance center. Husband and wife. What I liked about the beginning, she looked like she was pissed. Like she didn't want anything to do with the match. Didn't want anything to do with Johnny. So again, storytelling, emotion, subtlety, A+. While the match is going on, Candice eventually, after like 45 minutes of these two fucking each other up, she finally comes to the realization to come out and say, you guys shouldn't be doing this. She's telling Tommaso Ciampa she hates her husband now because of to the point where all this has gotten, and it's just so stupid, it's so bad. She's like, I hate my husband. Are you happy? Are you happy? Mind you, it was just like some dry ass emotion. The emotion that she showed without saying anything in the beginning of the match was 100 times better than her actually speaking at this point in the match. So, Candice then goes and kicks Johnny in the balls. Yes, she kicks her husband in the nuts. You know, that threw me off. That obviously throws Tommaso Ciampa off. So, this is where even more stupidity comes in. At this point in the match, now Tommaso Ciampa realizes that him and Johnny's issues and this hour-long match was stupid. He's sorry now after Johnny Gargano's wife kicks him in the nuts. He just now realizes that there's an issue here and that they shouldn't be fighting after he gets kicked in the balls. Not when they're fighting on top of a big rig. Not when he hits him with an air raid crash off the top of a turnbuckle onto the outside floor. No, none of that. But it took Johnny Gargano getting kicked in the nuts for Tommaso Ciampa to realize that they shouldn't be fighting and that, you know, he's sorry. So, at this point, you know, it gets to Tommaso. I guess, you know, the black heart. There's no blackness in his heart at this point. He just has all heart. So, when that happens, he doesn't try to cover, you know, he doesn't try to go for a pin on Johnny. He's just saying sorry and shit like that. So, while he's trying to have a moment with Johnny Gargano, Candice LeRae comes back in the ring and kicks Tommaso Ciampa in the balls. Turns out, this was all a part of the plan. Johnny had a cup on, so, you know, when he got kicked in the nuts, it didn't hurt. He had to sell it. Tommaso obviously wasn't wearing a cup. He gets kicked in the balls, goes down. So, Johnny Gargano then goes, hits the fairy tale ending on Tommaso Ciampa, picks up the win. Him and his wife, Candice Gargano, Candice Wrestling, they walk out, you know, happy that they just got this victory over stupid-ass Tommaso Ciampa. I don't know why he didn't pin Johnny Gargano when Candice kicked him in the nuts. And then on top of that, why the fuck would she wait so long to kick Tommaso Ciampa in the balls too? Because if that was me, oh, you just kicked this nigga in the nuts, I'm going to pin him now, match is over. I don't give a fuck if your wife hates you. I hate you too. We both hate you. We're on the same page. You know? That's just my thinking. Like a regular person. So, obviously that didn't register. Again, Candice waits so long to kick Tommaso Ciampa in the balls, that would have backfired. Everything would have backfired. She just did it first. You know, kick Johnny in the balls. You know, that would have threw off Tommaso Ciampa. Say, fuck him. Kick him in the nuts too. And then, you know, they both would have just been there holding the balls. But, you know, obviously with Johnny Gargano wearing the cup, he would have not been hurt. He could have just picked up the win right then and there. Again, I get it. They were trying to go for emotion, and they were trying to draw the wrestler in with the story at that point. But it's 50 minutes in. At that point, nobody was really... not even going to say nobody. I wasn't really giving a fuck what happened. I was waiting for it to be over by then, because from the commercials to the dry, like, actual match they were having, I was just spent by then, you know. And then the way the match ended, again, I just showed you what happened, or just told you what happened versus what really should have happened, in my opinion. Just my opinion. So, that should have probably been the match of the night. It wasn't. The 6-women ladder match was. So, overall, now Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, one final beat. It's flatline. It's flatline. It's over. Don't get those things, you know, the shocking shit. I can't think of the name at the moment, but, you know, the EMTs use to try to, you know, resuscitate people. I don't know the names. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. The electric shit. Don't try to jumpstart this dead heart. Let it die. Please. It's over. We know these guys have history together, long history. It is what it is. Let it be over with now, please. Obviously, You know, Johnny has the win. He's going to move on to bigger and better things. They're both stars at NXT, so they're both going to move on to better. But Johnny, with this win, solidifies his role in this whole feud. Now he's going to go on and to do bigger and better. While Tommaso has to pick himself up, scrape himself from the bottom of the NXT ladder rung, so to speak, and to move on. So overall, that was this episode of NessXT. Oh, I'm sorry, that was just that episode. That was the April 8th episode of NXT.